Hi, it's Jez here from Nigezza Creates. Thank you for joining me today. So I've got a journal signature for you today. I am going on the Rach Bella Crafts retreat. I'm leaving tomorrow. It starts on Monday. I'm filming this on Saturday. And we are doing something different at the retreat this year. We are all making a component for a journal, and we're all in groups of 4 people, and each member of the group is tasked with making something, 4 things, and then we'll gather together, we'll put together a journal, and then there'll be then one journal for everybody that's attended the retreat. They're going to go into a drawer randomly picked out. So I potentially probably could get this one back. We shall see. So it's a 1 signature journal. And so I said, so somebody's, one of the tasks is 4 signatures. So I said, I'll do that, because I got loads and loads of paper and lots of lovely original ephemera. So I thought that would be a nice thing for me to do. And I've done 1. It's Saturday. I'm leaving tomorrow. I've got 3 more to do. So yeah, nothing like leaving it to the end, is there? So I put it together, and then I've got the stuff to put all the others together. So I thought I'd give you a flick through of what I've done, and then bring you along for the ride of putting it together. So I've started with a beautiful floral book page. I will go through where all these items came from afterwards. I'm just giving you a little flick through here. I've kind of stuck to the colours. We were given a colour palette, and so I think what I've chosen fits with that colour palette. And then this is some braille paper, and I've given it a sort of a watercolour wash, and I've used the baby wipe technique. I have got a video on doing this technique. I'm teaching a workshop on it at the retreat on Tuesday. I have done a video on it, and I don't know if that's come out before this or not. And then I've got an original legal document, and I did a little wash on there. So there is room for journaling there. This may well end up with a pocket put on it, because people are making pockets and tucks and tags and belly bands. So, you know, some things will end up on these pages. So on the legal document, I did another wash, and I've got to do all these things. So you will see, well, it depends how long the video is, because I have demonstrated this. This is my tobacco paper, so it's a nice journaling sheet, but again, it might have a pocket on it. I think it would look nice with a pocket or a tag. Then I've got some book page here, and I've created a side tuck there. So on top of the pockets that are being made in tucks, I've incorporated some in this. And then on this book page, the way I've folded it, and I will show you how I've done it, I have a pocket on this side as well, and I did that baby wipe colour wash there. This is an antique ledger. It's all genuine stuff, and that flips out, and I've done a little bit of stenciling with the baby wipe there, and there's a page there that can be journaled on, and a pocket could go on there, or a belly band, depends on what we decide. And then there's a nice page there that journaling could happen. Again, we could end up putting a pocket on there. I think what will happen is people will get their journals, and then over the course of the retreat might add to it. This is a vehicle logbook. This is quite vintage. I'm not quite sure how old it is. I can't remember if there was a year on the book. And then I did some baby wipe stamping there to give it some colour again, choosing the colours that we were told we would need, and another little stamp there. Here I've added with some 1947 document. This is like really thin paper, so I added it to this tuck here of some antique music sheet, and in here is a pocket. So one of the tags that have been made could go down there, and what I've done is I've glued it quite thickly on the bottom there because this is really thin paper, but I will be showing you how I did that. So that would look quite nice there when it's done, and I've left that plain so that it can be used for journaling. And then yeah, that's the other half of the music page. And then we've got a paper doily here, which I added some colour to, and I've done a baby white stamp there. This is some avocado dyed paper. Because dusky pink was one of the colours, I thought, oh, we'll have some avocado paper instead of tea dyed paper. And then I've done some stamping down the edge there with the baby wipe, and then I've just added a pink receipt. I thought that went well. And then an Edith Holden page, and I was lucky enough to get the smaller version of the Edith Holden page, which means it can go in a journal without being cut down and you've got the full image. So I was absolutely delighted about that, and I just love that spread in the centre there. So I thought that was a nice centre page. They've been, because it's not a sewn in book, the pages all ripped out, so I've had to join them there. I'll show you how I did that. So then we're coming down the other side, and it's just all repeated down the other side of that signature. Things folded slightly differently. Another pocket there, another side pocket there. Tobacco paper, that's the other half of that. It's a will, so a nice old legal document there. Can't remember what year it is. Some more braille paper, and the other half of that book page. So that is what I've used to make that journal. So that is it in its sort of bare form, and then it's going to get embellished, and then Rach has made a cover for each of the journals, so we'll be sewing it into a cover as well, and that'll be a nice little gift for somebody to take away. So what have I used? Let's start at the beginning with this beautiful book page. So that has come from this absolutely stunning book, the Victorian even Flower Album by Henry Terry. I first saw this book shown by Julie from Camellia Crafts, and I was like, and it went on my list, and then I found a copy, and then a week later I found a second copy. Now I did pay £8.60 for this book. It originally retailed at $16.99, which you might think, oh, that's quite a lot of money, Jez. But actually, if we get through the gubbins at the beginning, each page is stunning. Front and back, you have stunning pages. And if you think about how much you pay for a 12 by 12 paper pad or an 8 by 8 paper pad, it's actually good value for money, because if you look at how many pages you've got in here, if this would be several paper pads. So there is 115, and I know there's so it's page 115, so it'll be half that. So it's about 60 pages here. So that's quite, most paper pads have about 20 pages, so it's like 3 paper pads. So that is that stunning book. If I show you my Edith Holden, so I got the smaller version of Edith Holden, and I say the pages come out separately. I went forward and picked out June because we're meeting in June, but they come out easily, and then I just joined them together. When I get to that bit in the book, in the process, I will show you that. And then what we got? We've got some legal documents. So I've got loads of these. I bought a couple of jot blots, and this one's well, it was made in 1898, and the probate happened in 1930 when the person died. Now it was quite a big document. That's the leftovers, the other one. So, and it was folded down like that. It's been folded for, you know, nearly 100 years. Well, actually over 100 years, because it would have been folded from 1898 probably. And so I ironed them so that it would make them easier to use. This one, I do think that is, you know, a nice way of looking, but it would go in a journal like that. So I'm thinking I might make a little like TN out of that sheet and not actually use it in this particular book. But this one would be fine, and you've got plain on the back, and I do love that. Then there's this sheet, and that's what I used in the original. I don't know why I'm doing that. So that's how you can see. Well, no, it's not really. It is that way. You can see it up. I'm looking at my mirroring, and it's like upside down. Oh, it's sideways. And this was the back sheet. I love those stamps. How gorgeous are they? So we've got stamps from sort of 1930. Are they all 1930? That's 1931. So this will be when it came to probate, when the person died, and you know they executed the will. And you can read on there who was left what. So yeah, I just think they're beautiful documents. So they're all ready, and that's the part of the one that I'd used on the signature I've already shown you. So that one's quite plain, so I probably won't use that. Oh, and this is a separate document that I found that I thought I might use that one. This is from 1969, so it's not quite so old. So yeah, got some interesting things on the back of that one. So yeah, that is how I've prepared my legal documents. I've got some nice doilies here, so they're waiting to be dyed. I've got my tobacco paper, and it was in a ring bound pad, so I took the ring off so that I could keep those interesting looking squares at the top. I've picked out some of those nice book pages, so they come folded like this. So if I had a bigger journal, I could maybe use that, but I'm just ripping it down, and that makes it quite a nice size then for an ordinary standard size journal, which is like A4 folded in half. These are my Edith Holden pages, which need to be stuck together. I've had a load of pink receipts, so yeah, I'm gonna put them in it. They're all from the same company, and they're all from the 50s. And then these are the paper that I created the pocket out of. These are from 1947, so I just picked a handful of those out. I've got some Braille paper, so I bought an A4 book. Let me show you the book. So here we go. I got this off eBay, and again ring bound, so I undid all the rings so that I could pull. So they've been pulled apart so that I can just take out a sheet without ripping. And so you've got these nice holes are intact. I think I paid maybe about £6 or £7 for this pad, but there was loads of sheets in it, so I thought that was worth it. But it's bright white, so I have tea dyed these in the past, but I'm going to do my baby white wash on it. This is my antique ledger. It's from 1858. So this is what I'm going to use for one of the pages. I've got this music book, and it's organ. It's an organ music book, and I love organ music books because it goes it goes that way. So when you use it as a page in a journal, the music's the right orientation, and I really like that. And the music, you know, it's lovely, busy music. So I really like it. I think it looks lovely in a journal. So that is oh, and I've got this encyclopedia, which is quite old, and this is what I used to make my pocket page. So let's start with the pocket page and how I made that. So let's bring the journal back in, and we'll get to the pocket page there. So this is how the page looks. So I kept the original fold in it. So because I want it to fold up, so what I did was I took my school board. I found it easier to use a school board. You can measure, but I'm going to use a school board, and I scored it down where the height of the page. Now our pages in the UK are 8 1/4. In America it'd be 8 1/2. So, but I went just 1/8 of an inch shorter, I believe, just in case with the folding it was a little bit inaccurate. I didn't want there to be any issues. So yeah, I'm just a tad shorter to allow for sort of user error. So that's where I went on there, and I'm gonna fold that up. Like so. And then fold it across. And then we want the width of our page. And so half of an A4 is roughly about 5 7/8. But as you go in a journal and you fold over, the pages move forward, so I want it to be a bit shorter to make sure, because I'm going to create a side tuck pocket with it. I don't want it to be too wide so that it will get cut off. So you can see I've made it a tad shorter. So I think I went to about 5 1/2, so that it would definitely be I wouldn't be cutting off along the fold, because there's nothing worse when you create a pocket in this way, and then if you trim down all your pages to fit, the you would cut that bit of the fold off, and you'd no longer have a pocket. And so I don't usually do it so that they're all the same, the width. I like pages like that one, they're a bit shorter. I think it creates a bit of interest in your journal, to come along and find something a little bit shorter like there in your journal. So that is that. Now this is quite thin paper, so I want the pocket tops to be folded over. So we'll come back here, and I find it easier if I'm just gonna go about 1/4 of an inch in to fold it over. So I'm just running a line down there because it's easier to fold that way, and then down the side as well, I'm going to come in 1/4 inch there. Well, I think I do that one a little bit less because it's not got quite so much. So we'll come down. So that's going to get folded in easier. Right, I'll get rid of this school board now. And I'm going to, so the pocket's going to fold that way. I want this to fold that way. So when we were discussing the amount of pockets and tags we were making, some of us thought, well, it's not many in a journal. And I said, well, it's right, when I'm doing my signatures, I'll be adding some tucks and pockets as I'm folding the signature, so we will have a few more. And I think over the course of the weekend, we'll be creating things to go in the journal. I'm quite looking forward to the fact that I might come home actually with a made journal. That'd be a first for me. Right, so we're going to do a little bit of trimming now. So I want a pocket there, and I want the pocket on the side. So this corner bit is not required at all. So we're going to get rid of that. So I'm going to take my bigger scissors. So I think I'm gonna glue down these edges first, because otherwise we're gonna get into a pickle, right old pickle, if we don't do that. I found this book, and I thought I'll do a gluey book. So I'm just going to use a glue stick to do these, because because it's just to put it in place whilst it doesn't need to be, you know, I don't trust glue sticks 100%. I know lots of people do, but I don't. And but I don't mind for just folding this edge bit over using a glue stick. There we are. So now I can just get rid of that, and I might use them to make things. I have just been stacking them up in the corner of my desk. It's just a way of getting rid of those book pages. Right, so now it's kind of making it a little bit easier to see to cut these off. Right, so I am just going to cut a tiny sliver off that edge there. Like so that can fold up, and then fold it in half that way. I can cut that tiny sliver off there. So now we have cut away that corner bit, bin in it. So now this can fold down there. I've done them on the wrong side. Why didn't anybody tell me? Oh, it doesn't Don't matter. That's just got an edge to it. It don't matter, Jez. It's not the end of the world. No, it's not. So I'll cut that little sliver off there. And we'll cut that little sliver off there. So now we've got our pocket up there ready to go, and then on these back sides we've got our pockets there ready to go. So I've done that one okay, but this one's got that folded over, but it matters not. So that's how we've got a side tuck there, a pocket there, and a side tuck there. And obviously these are going to get stuck down, but I'm not doing it yet because I'm going to do a wash over these pockets, but I'm going to make them all first before I do that wash. So that's how that page is done. Then I've got 150p I paid for that. I've got such cheap shops where I live, so lucky. So there we go, we'll have this one. Well, I like that, it's got a nice title there. So this is bigger than A4, so it needs to be made smaller, and I wanted to create this flap where I put this pocket on. So I kept one edge the way it was, and I just folded over the excess to create a hinge where I could put something on. The top and the bottoms, I folded them over and glued them down so that they're got a stronger edge. So it means that I can clip something to the top because it's got a really nice sort of strong edge. So I again got my scoreboard in because I thought that would be a good idea. I like that edge with the sewing where it was sewn up, so I want to keep that as the edge. So I'm going to fold this end in. Now an A4 sheet is about 11 3/4, but again, like with the other page, I want to come in a little bit more, so I'm going to fold it at 11, so it will be, you know, 5 1/2. So score down there at 11, so that's my hinge ready for the pocket. And then we've got, it's just over 9 inches. We want to go to 8 1/4. So we've got 1 2 3 4 5 6. We've got 7 eighths to take off. So I took 3/8 off one end, 4/8 off the other. So 1 2 3. I'm gonna fold in down there. That can fold over. Like that. And then go over this side, and I'm going to 8 1/4 there to come down. And that's our A4 sheet there. Like so. So then we just need to do a bit of gluing on that. It did take me several hours putting together that signature, but now it's put together, I can now mass make the rest of it, and that's the beauty of doing it together. Now I'm going to take the bulk of this out because I think it'll just make it easier. So I'm just cutting this corner bit off. She says. I always prefer to do it when it's slightly folded, because then you're getting it all, including the sort of score line. Okay. So I'm gonna, I might do it that way. Let's fold you in that way so that we've got like the full page there. I quite like that. Yeah, we'll do that. So we're just going to glue this down. I did this because it's thicker paper. I used my collage actually, because if I'm gonna clip things, or whoever gets the journal is going to clip things, I think they'll want a stronger seal. So it's collage glue, widely available in the UK, cheap as chips, and it is solvent glue, and it is a bit like Beacon 3-in-1. And yeah, I get it by the litre and decant it into these Sugar Bell bottles, and I pay about 18, sometimes £20 for a bottle, and it lasts me about a year. There is a link in my description to my Amazon shop, and I think I've got a direct link to Collage as well. So let's fold this in half. So that is that page. I'm going to go that way. Actually, Jess, and I'm going to do my little pocket on there. So I'm going to take one of these. So this is like the carbon copy of a letter. So in the days before, like photocopiers and that, you would, if you wanted a copy of a letter, you would have a thin sheet like this, some carbon paper underneath, which was like, well, this one looks like black, but I remember my mother having them. They were like blue, and your sheet that you're actually working on. So in this case, it's typed, but it could be handwritten. And then as you made an impression, the ink came out of the paper that was in between and went on the back. So they're always on these thin sheets, which I really like. So we are going to attach that to that flap and fold over. So I'm just going to measure there to fold in. Like so. And I want to reinforce the top, so I'm just going to fold down the top like so, just showing that you can do it without a scoreboard, like so. Let's move you out of the way for now. You don't seem very straight to me. Ah, you do. Yeah, you do. So there we go. And normally I don't create things with original documents. I'm a bit precious about them. I've got a great big book with this in. So I've got oodles, and actually I've watched a lot of Roxy Creations doing weekly challenges, and I've done quite a few of them myself. And she creates with her original documents, and I think, oh, actually, they look really nice. so why not? So yeah, so this is like my first venture into creating with an original document. So there we go. That's that. So let's bring in the sheet I want to attach it to. Make sure that end that I've just created there is going to go on there. So I am going to put some of this glue along there, down the edge there, and up there. I'm going to go along the bottom. Oh, not yet, Jess. Step too far. There, we'll just. I'm making it go up a bit because I want the bottom to be quite thick. There we go. Now I'm just going over this bit with a glue stick so that we can now line that up on the crease. Make sure it's straight along there. There we go. Lift it up slightly from the bottom. And let's fold that over. So it's stuck like that. And then this is going to fold over. We want to create the pocket, so I'm going to do a divot in this. Now it's quite thin paper, so I'm going to put a bit of that behind, so it's got a bit of thickness. It's also not long since I glued it, so it'll still be a bit wet, but for the purposes of the video, I am going to punch it now, and I'm going halfway between there and there because it's going to be glued there, so that's the middle point of the pocket. So I'm going to eyeball that. There we go. That punched so much better than the previous one because I haven't put a bit of paper behind. So that's that, and I'm going to want to give that a little bit of an ink on this side. And this. Might even ink down there. I didn't in the other one, but hey ho. So now I'm gonna put some glue down here. And then we want glue along here to stick the pocket down with. I'm going to make it a little bit thicker so that just thinking of what a normal size tag would be. So I didn't want it, I thought you'd lose it. That was my thoughts. It would get lost if it was too deep. So let's just want to put a bit of glue down this edge. And then I'll fold this pocket over. Fold that over all like so, and then we'd open it up, and there we've got our pocket flap in there. So let's just now wipe off any excess glue, because Collard does ooze. So that's that one done. So we've done, I can't find the ones that's done. Done that one. Oh, I've done two. So let's do my ledger page. So I just took these straight out of my antique ledger. So it is very big, and what I've done is I folded it in half, just did a little mark there so that I can see where to cut it in half, because I can get 4 pages out of this, being frugal with my stash. So rather than make it A4, it makes more sense to have 4 out of it. And then I'm just gonna take the smallest smidge off the end there, like so. And then I've created my page like that. And I'm gonna score it at 5.5, and that creates I've done that wrong, haven't I? Never mind, we'll carry on. So this is another way. I'll use this in another journal. So that would be a journal page if I actually fold it correctly. There we go. Right, different sort of journal page. That was if I didn't want a flap. It would be like that. But I do want a flap, so I've done that one wrong. What I did was I kept it as it was. So that's the edge of my journal page. So I'm going to come in here with that edge up there on 5.5, and then I'm going to score down there and that's creating a nice big flap, and go inside or outside, whichever way I choose. So I'm just doing that way for now. So that's the 2 ways I've chosen to do it. So let's do this way, put that on 5.5, score that. Fold that over like that. That's my journal page there. Take the printer away. Printer, trimmer. So let's stick these down. Give that a nice little burnish there. So that's a journal page with a flap. I could put a tab on actually to show. So I might do that after. That is that. So it looks nice like that, and then you've got journaling space there, and you can stick all sorts on here. Lots of space to journal there, and open that up and there's journal in there, there's journal in there. So that's a good page. So that's those 3 pages. Now we've got a couple of sheets that are really, really simple to do. So this one, these are simply A4, so they just need folding in half. And what you might need to do, depending on where it appears in the journal, it might need trimming down. The same with the sheet of avocado dyed paper. Just going to fold that in half, and I think I did trim this down a bit. And what I did to trim it down was I used my deckled edge trimmer so that it was a little bit more decorative. So I'm just going to take the edge off there. Sometimes when it's really thin like that, it doesn't like it, but because this is just ordinary weight copier paper, and sometimes punches and trimmers, when they're shaped, they dislike going through thinner paper, whereas thicker paper would have had no problem at all. But it don't matter because it's a junk journal, and we don't mind the odd rough edge, do we? So there we go. And I might actually, shall I trim a little bit off the edge of this? I didn't on the other one, but I'm now thinking I like it. So take a bit off you. I thought that one might be alright because it was slightly thicker, but it's not really. So there we go. We'll do that. And then I did go over the edge with a bit of ink. There might be a few neat freaks that get it and want to pick all these off, but you know, people can do that. So that is those pages. Equally quick is the book pages. Let me find my book page. Pretty book page. I think we'll go that. So one of them will be front cover, so it'll either be that one or that one. Might do that one. And then we've got the surprise of the purple at the back, my favourite colour. So let's like that. And then I did deckle edge this as well, because I thought that was quite pretty. Sometimes going over it a few times makes it come off. So that's just given that. I've just realised, because I've just seen in the book, this is my vehicle logbook, which I got in an Oxfam. Don't think there's a date in here. Anyway, so I took the staples out to make this really easy. I don't think I took out the full pages that I needed, so 2, 3, there we go. And then put that back where it belongs. So this is, height wise it's fine, but it's too wide, So again, I'm going to go to 5.5. So that I know it'll definitely fit in the journal. So that's that. I'll do the others after. Was there another sheet that was quick and easy? I think that's them all. Let's have a look. I've just got the Edith Holden, I think, to do possibly. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, I've got my tobacco paper to do. I trimmed that off as well, didn't I? I think. I don't. Yeah, I did actually, because I didn't do it with this, did I? I could do though, because we're here. Well, actually, I might not have, because I don't think it's A4 with. I think it's a bit shorter. How wide is that? Yeah, it's not as wide as A4, so that's okay as it is. So, got my book page, got that. Oh, the legal document, that's what I haven't done. So, let's grab one. Definitely don't need this. So, I'll take this one. Get rid of all this gubbins. Into the bin. That missed the bin. Right, so it's the right height. It's A4. Let me get my scoreboard in, because that will help me to see the size. And this one's a bit wider than the other, but I just want to flip on one side, I think. I think I might do the flip on that side, because that's got that lovely embossed bit there. So if we go to 11, yep. It might not be wider actually, Jez. I think it's probably about the same. So I'm going to go to 11. I ironed these. Did I say that at the beginning? Because I thought that would help. So, I mean, so the creases are a little bit less of an issue than they were prior to ironing. So that's that. So I'm going to colour wash that, because that's what I did, and I liked the look of that. So we've got a little bit of journaling space there. We opened it up. I did do a bit of a colour wash on the inside, and then you've got some journaling space there, and you can see those creases have done quite well with being ironed out. Some of them are a little bit too prominent for that to work. So now we've got the Edith Holden pages. So 73, 74. They belong together, didn't they? Let's have a look. Did I get one? Did I get another one that's the 82, 83, 84, and 85. So that's a page together. It would annoy me if I didn't have consecutive pages together. It's just the way I am. So there we got 71 and 72. 70, 73, that one's 74. 75, 76, 77. So yeah, that's the way to go. That's just an odd page, isn't it, Jez? It is. Yes, it's very odd. Right, so let's do this one. So what I did was put them down on my craft mat so that I could see the line. Just realised we're going 55 minutes. I might not get this done in an hour. There we go. Well, actually, there's a bit of me thinking you don't need to see the baby wipe stuff I'm doing because I've shown that already in a video. So there we go. That is, so this is micropore surgical tape. Microporous tape. I'm not sure where I bought this. It was cheap as chips. It's nice, it's paper, it's really strong. So do that, and then I go over with a bit of ink, and it helps blend it in then, you don't see it so much. So you've got a little bit. I think it's better than washi tape. People sometimes do this sort of thing with washi tape. Washi tape doesn't stick that well. So you'd have to use a bit of glue stick. But I find micropore really works. I've told this story before, but when I was a psychiatric nurse working in a large institution, I had a patient, I won't say attack me, but you know, we had a scuffle, and he managed to rip the pocket of a cotton dress I was wearing, and it was the pocket that I put the ward keys in, so I needed a pocket. So I got some of this tape out the treatment room, and I mended my pocket for that shift, and then I just forgot about it. Bunged the dress in the wash, it came out the wash, it got worn again, and the pocket was still intact with the micropore, and I never mended it, I never sewed it, I just left the micropore on. So yeah, even after being in the wash, it worked. I've done hems with it as well. I was like, oh, that worked. Why don't I hem with the micropore? Why are you not cutting? I don't know, Jess. I don't know. Are you weak as a kitten? What's happening? I know your hands can be funny, but how are you not being able to cut micropore? I don't know. That was weird. Just could not get my scissors to go down that bit at all. Right, there's that bit that just came off. There we go, so I can find the end. Oh, it folded over. Don't know how I did that. Oh well, there we go. So, ramble, ramble, Jez. That's what Ed used to say to me. Ramble, ramble. So, then we can just fold it. Should be right on the crease there. And that is that. So let's put our pages together now that they're all done. So we've got, first page is this, and then it's the Braille page, and then it's the legal document. Want to go in there, and then we've got my tobacco paper, and then my book page with the pocket like so, and then we've got my ledger, and then our logbook, and then our music sheet with the green pocket, I've put the pocket in a different place, but that's okay. Then we've got the avocado paper, and then I've got a doily in there. I'm going to grab the doily. Just going to put it there for now. And then we've got our pink thingy, and then it's Edith Holden. Right, so let me just readdress this because I don't like the doily next to that, so I'm going to fold it the other way. Yeah, fold the doily in half. Fold this in half. And that is how the signature's going to be put together. And then if you watch my baby wipe technique video, you'll see how I did this effect there. So we're going to have a bit of a wash on that flap, and it will match then that side. We'll do a bit of a wash over there. Can't see. We'll have a bit of a wash over there, and that goes nicely with the tobacco paper. And then these pocket fronts will have a wash, and there. And then I might do a bit of stenciling there on the inside of the ledger flap. The vehicle logbook, that will have some stamping. And the doily will have some colour. The avocado paper will have some stamping. So that's that. So that's the signatures that I put together. Now I'm doing it for a craft retreat, for a swap, but I think that would be lovely in any journal. If you're making a multiple signature journal, I always like to do them pretty much the same. It makes life easier. It gives a little bit of continuity. So that would be, you know, a lovely journal. So I'm going to go off and make the others because I need them for tomorrow when I'm leaving, and I haven't packed my craft bag, and I got some gifts I'm going to give people, and yeah, I need to get it all together, and I need to pack my clothes because I can't sit there in my pajamas all weekend. Well, all week. I probably could, actually. I don't think anybody would bat an eyelid whatsoever about that. So anyway, I will be back showing you the journal that I got from the retreat, and yeah, and talk about it and show you things that I made and stuff later, because I know people like to see what happens on these retreats. Okay then, bye for now. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and please leave me a comment what you think. Do you like it? And yeah, which is your favourite page? And yeah, that'd be lovely to hear from you all. Okay, bye.